This is episode 4 of Knitting on Sweater Avenue, a podcast where I talk about what I've been working on, what I've recently finished, and any new yarn that I've picked up. To start with, I'm going to go through what I'm wearing and then some recently finished objects, as well as my works in progresses or whips, and then some new yarn acquisitions I've gotten. So to start with, what I'm wearing is my petite knit Monday sweater, knit in a Drops Baby merino and mohair. I finished this, I think it was my finished object in my last episode, and I've been wearing it so much. I knit a size small, and I really like the fit. The only thing I did differently is I did a split hem, which I'll show you. So I did a split hem, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to put some elastic in the neckline. I think it would hold it in nicely, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So that's what I'm wearing right now, and it is so comfy cozy, which is really nice because here in Melbourne, even though it's spring, it's definitely like Melbourne's cold today, so it's nice to have something warm. Now onto my recently finished objects. So I'll start with this one. I am so excited about this. So this is Camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Hold it up. I made it a bit more cropped than I think the pattern called for, and again I made a small. The edging is so nice. And then it's the same on the armholes, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it was a bit of a slog. So the edging is like quite a lot of rows on like 2mm needles, so that's definitely tricky, and then you have to hand sew the edge down to get that really nice like braid. So I think if I were to do it again, I would maybe want to try the lateral braid. And then I actually don't know what the recommended hem is. Like I could just look at the pattern, but I didn't. I decided to do, for my hem, I did a purl row, and then I switched to smaller needles and knit a few rows, and then hand sewed it down like a hem, which looks amazing. It flares just a little bit, but not too bad. And yeah, I'm a big fan, but it took me so long. Like I think it took me like 4 hours or something ridiculous to do the hem, just because you have to like individually sew each stitch, like I guess twice, to like sew it together with needle and thread. And I had way too much yarn. Like the tutorial I was following said you needed 4 times the amount of yarn of like the distance you were doing, and then I did a bit extra, and so I was like pulling through so much. So that definitely took longer than it should have. But overall, I'm such a big fan. I'll put a picture up of me wearing it. But what's the main things I want to mention? I think it's a little tight across the chest, so if I knit it again, and I think I definitely will, I might go up a size, but I really like the fit. I made it a bit more cropped, and this is Fibresmith yarns in the color Burnt Terracotta, and I think they're 4-ply merino base, which is a hand-dyed yarn that I got here in Melbourne. And I would definitely use them again. I think I knit some socks from their yarns, and now this, and I'm a big fan. So yeah, definitely. I've already worn it like 3 times to work, which is just, it's so good. So that's my first finished object. My next is just a classic pair of socks. This is the, yeah, here, let me show you. Ta-da! As you can probably tell, this was one ball of yarn, and it was like a gradient yarn. So I think if I like fold this away and then like hold that, like the gradient continues from like, yeah. So I don't know, I split it into 2 balls, and I didn't think I would have enough to like knit them cuff down, but the cuffs ended up being way longer than I expected, which is not like that long, but still. And so I knit them toe up using a contrast wool. So I used the Lang Yarns Jawoll Superwash as the contrast color, but I think I talk about what the actual yarn is in a previous podcast, so if you're interested, I think I've got it in the comments there. and I'll pop it in the comments, the description here as well. But yeah, happy with those. They're sort of, I didn't enjoy knitting them toe up, to be honest with you. I was really stressed about how long to make the foot, and then I had just some scrap yarn in to add the heel, and that, like, adding the heel was actually fine. But I just couldn't find any. I didn't really want to buy a pattern because I didn't really care about how these ones went so much. I like bought the yarn and then I was like, I need to use it, but I didn't love it. So it was just sort of a bit of a slog and I didn't love it, but I'm onto some new socks now and I'm definitely enjoying them a bit more. So I'll talk about them in a bit, but that is my second finished object. Now my whips. I'll start with the whips that I have been working on before, and then I'll move on to the newer cast-ons that I have. So to start with, this is the Moby sweater by Petite Knit. I'll hold it up. I've joined in the round and I'm going down the body. This is the Sandnes Garn Pure Gynt yarn in the color, it's a number 6324. It's like a light denim-y blue color. It's really nice. I'm really enjoying knitting this pattern. I have made a couple of changes so far, some of which have gone better than others. So the first difference, so this is for my partner, and I'm knitting the Moby sweater man in a size small. He's a pretty similar size to me. And so the first thing I did is I've changed the direction the cables run. So you initially start at the back, and in the pattern it tells you to have the cables go the other way, but I wanted the cables to go towards the middle on the front. So I changed the back so that, because it sort of continues over the shoulder, so that you go so the cables go the same way. So that was the first change I made. The second thing I did was, it's a seed stitch down the side, but I just on the very edge stitch I just knit the whole time. I knit on the right side and purled on the wrong side, just because I wanted it to be easier to pick up for sleeves later. And that ties into my slight error that I made. So I could see there was a seed stitch in the pattern, and so I just did a seed stitch. I didn't really think about what I was starting with. So when you then join in the round, I realized that I was kind of in a bit of a pickle in terms of, sorry, I've got a few ends here, in terms of making it match. So I've subsequently made it, because I wanted it to be seamless on both sides. So what I had to do was do some extra, so I had this side it wasn't going to match up, so I just did you can see it here, I did an extra row of the same. So a seed stitch is a knit one, purl one, rib for 2 rows, and then you switch to a knit one, purl one, rib, like alternate. So where you had knit, you now purl. But I did an extra row of essentially the same rib, so then it would match up really nicely. And it's on the back, so I think it'll be okay. I'm a bit disappointed about it, but it is the way it is. And then on the other side, because this is like another layer of complexity, and actually my mum has just finished this as well, and so I was asking her, because this is also the beginning of round, so strictly speaking the back is a different row to the front, but I wanted it to match here too, so I had to do 4 rows so that it would match, because otherwise the seed stitch is off by a row, because this is the next row. Anyway, so I did that, and I think if I were, so I've got 4 rows of the sort of ribbing here, and I think you can sort of, it's pretty hard to see. Like if I'm looking for it, I can see it, but I put it on the same row, so it's like a feature across the back. And you have to accept that there are some things, and that I'd have to go all the way back up to the top to fix that, and I don't think it's worth it. So I think I'm going to knit this again, and I do want it to be seamless down the side. So I think when I knit it again, I'm going to be really careful to, when I start because I think the pattern, you have a seam down whatever side is your side that you join, like whatever side is the beginning of round, and I don't want that. So I think when I knit it again, I'm going to think really carefully about how I start and like how many rows I'm going to do, and therefore what I need to start on. But yeah, so I didn't pay close enough attention to that, and it's come back to bite me. But overall, I think it's looking really nice. I'm just about to finish ball 4, so here's my mess, and I've got the 5th one. I wind them up, even though they come in like, they come wound as balls. I find that shape, the ball shape, which is like this, really annoying. So I just rewind them, only partly because I love using my ball winder. So yeah, I've got that one ready, but I'm sort of deciding if I want to, if I was knitting it for myself, I would definitely like connect in the round and knit a bit and then do the sleeves. But I'm trying to decide if I want to finish the body and then do the sleeves. It's partly because when my mum was knitting it, she would send me progress updates on my dad, and it would be like a picture of him with a little cropped jumper, and I just thought like a little cropped, no sleeveless jumper, and then there was like a picture with the body done but no sleeves, and then the body done and one sleeve. And I want to recreate them, among other things, because I think they're hilarious. And then my boyfriend and my dad will have matching, although very different colours, jumpers. It's just such a classic. Anyway, so I think it's a win, and yeah, it's going really well. I'm knitting a small, I'm using the recommended needle size, and I'm really happy with how it's going. So that is my first whip that I'll go through. My next one, I don't think I talked about in my previous episode. And then I started working on it again. I guess because when I was working on this, yeah, I'll get it. When I was working on the Monday sweater and this, they were like the same. So I kind of just only worked on one of them. Whereas now, I've finished the Monday sweater. So I'm back to working on this one. Let me see if I can hold it up. So this is inside out, yes. My Elizabeth blouse. Oh, it is not vibing, but it's so soft. This is the Elizabeth blouse in a Wool and the Gang Sugar Baby Alpaca yarn in the colour earthy orange, yep. And it's so soft. I am holding it single, and so I've gone down to a 3.5mm needle, and I've just split, I think I've done like oh my goodness, we're in a tangle here. I think I've done 2 rows or 3 rows since I split the sleeves off, but the sleeves are just on, just being held, and then I'm knitting on the body. And it's just like a plain stockinette knit in the round thing, so it's really good if I just want to sit there and knit. And this is the yarn that I knit into one jumper and then completely ripped it back and knit into a second jumper, and now I haven't actually finished ripping it back because I was just like doing it part and again. So this is my current ball that I'm working from, and once I finish this one I will rip back some more, wash it, dry it, wind it. It's a whole adventure, but it's good, and I really do want to wear my knits, so it's important to me that if I'm not wearing it, I'm going to rip it back, and we will come back to that later because that's gonna come up. Anyway, also knitting in a small, I really like the colour, such a soft yarn, and I think it's just going to be like super comfy cozy, even though it's very floppy. It's going to be floppy, and I'm okay with that. The other one I have is also quite floppy, so, but I'm really happy. It's so soft. I don't think I've made any changes, although so I knit the Maud tee into a sweater a couple, I guess earlier this year, and then I knit this one, and they're essentially the same. There's a few minor changes, like I know they have a different number of raglan stitches, and the way they do the collar part is different. And I hated this. So the way you do it on the Maud is you do it as you go. So it's a bit of a faff because you're doing double knitting on the like collar stand bit. Is that what it's called? I don't know. You're doing double knitting on this bit. And so you do it as you go. And so I didn't do a perfect job, but you can't tell, and I'm really happy with it. This one, you knit it, you don't knit that bit. So when you get to here, you just like put 6 or however many stitches, 6, not 6, can't be 6, I don't know, 12, 15, something like that, you just put them on spare yarn and then subsequently knit, like pick up the stitches with a smaller needle and knit them. And it does look nice. I haven't blocked it, but it's like you then pick up the stitches and then do the double knitting later. Oh my god, I hated that. It was just like, I hated that on a deep level. Whereas I feel like doing double knitting as you go, maybe it doesn't look as neat, but I was happy with the way it looked. So if/when I knit this again, which I definitely will, I'm definitely going to do it the way the Maud T recommends. And when my mum, she knit an Elizabeth blouse, I was like, do it the way the Maud T recommends, because this was not the vibe. Anyway, but it's really soft and I should work on it because I think it looks really snazzy and I want to wear it. So that's that. Which I think is the only 2 of my whips that I had cast on for my previous video that I've worked on since then. There's been a couple, I don't know if there's anything else. I guess there was the double cross top I haven't made any progress on. Just haven't had the mental capacity. And I guess I've been working on the Moby. That's been my like cabley sweater that I've been working on. But I have been working on a few other things. So I cast this on, I feel like pretty soon after I filmed the last video. And that's fine. And this is the double cross top by Charissa. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Charissa Lam? I'm going to assume it's Charissa. Anyway, at the moment it is just a nice tube, which is tangled because that's who I am. It's in like a grey-green colour, and I did a provisional cast on, and it's in the Erika Night Studio linen. So it's like linen rayon blend with like recycled linen, I think, or recycled viscose. And I only have 2 balls, and this is how much I have left. Okay, this is a disaster, but anyway, this is how much I have left of the first ball. So my plan, I'll put a picture of the top up here. Future me really loves it when I say I'll put a picture up, but anyway, because I only have 2 balls, and that's definitely less yarn than the pattern recommends. I did a provisional cast on at the bottom, and then I'm knitting in the round. So it's like a tube, and then it's got like a nice front. It's got the front shaping, and then it's got straps, and there's like crossing at the back with the straps. So my plan is for the first ball, I'm just knitting the body in the round, and then once I get into the second ball, I'll move straight onto the shaping for the front, do the front shaping, the straps, all of the edgings, and then pick up the provisional cast on and knit downwards and use up the rest of the yarn. And so that's one way that I'm like, making sure that I use up all of the yarn I have, because I don't know if anyone else finds this, but like I just find it infuriating when I'm left with like half a ball. Like, what am I going to do with half a ball of yarn? I don't really like, some of the scrappy projects appeal, but I don't super want them. And that's like coming back to these socks. Like that's why I knit them like this, so that I wouldn't have any yarn left over. And I don't. Oh, maybe I have a bit because I wanted them to have the same number of rows, but you know. So yeah, this is good. I'll admit, knitting in the round, just like until you finish the ball, it's kind of boring, but I'm really excited about this top, and as the weather gets warmer, I'm getting more excited about it, because it's just like I've never knit a linen top, and I just feel like that's going to be very summer wearable here in Australia. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping, like, I feel like I've used maybe half of this ball, maybe a bit more, and that's how much body I've got so far. So I'm hopeful that it will be a wearable length for me, which is like, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to wear a crop top, but I want it to like hopefully reach my belly button, I guess. But if it's not, I'm sure my sister would wear it. She's small, like shorter than me, so it's less distance to cover. So yeah, but yeah, really enjoying this. I'm not loving it, but I think once I get onto like doing the shaping, and then the straps look kind of interesting. There's like an I-cord. They're like I-cord, and then you like split it because they've got like crossing. I will put up some pictures so that it can be seen. And so yeah, I think it's going to be a really nice top. So this is like, what is it? I feel like at the moment it's not a process knit. Once I finish this ball, it will be a process knit, but then it is definitely a product knit. Like, I'm super excited about the final product. So that is one of my new cast-ons. This other one, let me grab it. Excuse me, it's in a plastic bag. Finally, my friend and I have cast on our, I guess, our little vest 2-person knit along. So this is the Semper slipover v-neck, and I have cast on the neck at the back, and then I'm like partway through, I'm just doing the back neck in just the most vibrant orange. It's just so good. So this is also Wool and the Gang Sugar Baby Alpaca in, this color is rusty orange, and then I'm holding it with burnt orange, burnt orange merino, mohair from Knitting for Olive. So that's what the two balls look like together, and then you end up with like a nice, trying to like get it in the light. Sorry, I've got my microphone here in the way of the sun. But I really like the way the colors are going. So yeah, about halfway through the back, we don't live in the same city, so we zoomed and cast on together, and then we started casting on, and then we went away and did it, and then came back together to do the short rows, and then we're just both knitting on the back, and then the next step is, I think we've got to do some increases for the armhole. So we'll come back together once we've done a certain number of the back rows, and then we're on to that. So yeah, it's going kind of slowly, but I'm enjoying it so far. So what size? I think I'm making the 3rd size. And the only current change I've made to the pattern is I've been slipping the first edge stitch on both sides, just because I know I'm gonna have to pick up the stitches later, and I don't know why I started and then I committed, and so now that's what I'm doing. But yeah, that's going well. I really like the way it's looking, and it's super soft, and it's not super weather appropriate, but you pick your battles. And I'm really excited to get this yarn out of stash. Like, I've had this for like, I bought this in 3rd year uni, so like 3 years ago, and it was an accident, but I didn't return it for whatever. I guess I do really like orange, but I didn't return it, but I'm really glad to use it, because trying not to have too big of a yarn stash, although my boyfriend would definitely disagree with the phrase trying. So it's just, buying yarn is just so fun. But yeah, working on that. I guess a bit of progress, but sort of not really anywhere yet. Like, we've got a nice little, not technically a rectangle, but it's definitely rectangle-esque, particularly because it's kind of rolling. So yeah, been working on that a bit, but that one's kind of nice because I just like, all I have to do is get to the next step, and then we'll organize that catch up, and then we can also catch up while we knit. And like, I'm sort of talking her through it because she's a bit newer to knitting and following these patterns, so that's really exciting. So that's my next whip, and it's really soft. I'm very excited to wear it once, I guess, either on a cold day like today, or once it goes back to winter, so next year. So yeah, that's that. And then my last whip, which I have been very self-impressed with my own speed on this one. I guess it's been a couple of weeks, but I have some socks. And even though I said I did not like knitting socks 2 at a time, I did it again. And I've made quite a lot of progress. So here is one sock. I'm onto the foot, like I finished all my gusset decreases. And here's my other sock. I am on the gusset and doing the decreases. So you've got a little nice. And this is, so the yarn, I have my yarn in little pouches so that it doesn't get all tangled, even though it kind of still does. This is Olivia and Oliver Fibres Elderflower. That's the colorway in her sock base. And wait, this one's a bit easier to hold up. It is, I'm loving the way it's working up, like the colors, and it's just like, it's green, which, yeah, green and orange are my favorite colors. Not really together. But like little bits of purple and yellow. I think it's really nice. So I am following the Crazy Sock Ladies socks on 9-inch circulars video. Well, I guess I'm following that in that I wrote down what she said to do, and then I just look at what I wrote down. I started with a 2x2 cuff, which I did for 20 rows. Although the cast on, I asked in my last video if anyone had any recommendations for cast ons, because my other socks are like kind of hard to get on. I'm wearing them now. I can't pull my leg up that high, but they're like cast on edge is really tight, and this seems to be looser. This is the old Norwegian cast on, also known as the German twisted cast on. I think that's what it's called. I looked it up. It's just like the long tail cast on but harder, but it's still not that hard. When I initially saw it, I thought yikes, but I like the way I like the way it looks. And people do recommend, wait, maybe, yeah, I think it's clearer if my face is not in it. But sometimes people recommend that you can do like a combination of the long tail cast on and the German twisted cast on to make it super stretchy, but I was gonna start here and see how I go. And it was not too bad. But yeah, so 2x2 rib for 20 rows, and then I moved to a 3x1 rib for the leg. And then I guess I did the same heel I do, which is like the slip stitch heel. But I kept the 3x1 rib going down the top of the foot. And as a result, I made the back of the foot one stitch less so that I would have like because with a 3x1 rib, and I have a 64 stitch cast on, with a 3x1 rib, you like start with 3 knits and then a purl, and you finish with 3 knits and then a purl. So I just grabbed the purl from the start. So I moved my started round marker back one. So then it's purl and 3 knits at the start, and then 3 knits and a purl at the end. And it does mean that I've got 33 stitches on the top and 31 stitches on the bottom, but I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference, and I've now moved the marker back. So maybe it's a bit uneven, but I wanted it to look even more than I cared about it being even top and bottom. And then also the only other change I made is where I did the decreases in the gusset. I moved it so it was 3, so like that's my edge of round, but I did my decreases like 3 stitches across so that it sort of continued the pattern. And then it goes to just stockinette for the bottom of the foot because I don't want to stand on a rib. Maybe it'll be fine. I've never tried it yet. Once I buy a pattern for socks, which at some point I will, because I can only imagine like make up sock types so much, then I will try a ribbed sock at the bottom. But I was just a bit worried because sometimes my feet get funny about walking on the knitted socks. Anyway, I'm really happy with that. I did a 20 row cuff, and then I only did like 20 rows of the foot, of the leg, because I didn't want super long socks. I think I realized that the other ones I've made are maybe a little bit long, so just like, I don't wear long socks that often, so having just slightly shorter ones, and I think I'll go shorter again next time, just to try different things out, see what I like. And yeah, it's really good. I knit them on the train and then sometimes in meetings to keep my hands busy. But yeah, they're going really well. I guess I'm working on this one at the moment to get it to this stage and then just keep alternating, but flying through it. So hoping to smash out another sock presently. So yeah, those are my 2 sock cast-ons that live in my work bag. All right, last but not least, I have a few acquisitions. Not too much, but I have ordered a little bit more yarn, mostly so I can split shipping with my mother. And because I'm you know, sometimes I just get really inspired and I want to cast something on, and it's very hard to fight that urge. But it does mean I don't buy other clothes sometimes. Anyway, I ordered from Paisley Knits. She did a massive shop update, I think, and I ordered 2 balls of her yarn, and it is so cute. I can think I have a color story theme. Anyway, this is the Krabby DK in Athena, and it's 100% superwash merino, and it's 246 yards per 100 grams. And it's really cute. And I have 2, which is an odd number to buy, also in a DK. So I'm thinking, depending on how this vest goes, I might have another vest in the works. But it's really nice, and the colors are beautiful. It's not dissimilar, I suppose, to those socks, but I can match my jumper to my socks. I'm okay with that. Or it could be really cute, you know, as like, you do this as the stripes of like a white jumper or something. It doesn't have to be white, but that's what I would do, I think. That could be a real vibe. So, plan pending, but color's beautiful. And I also, yeah, I did get another yarn, but I can't show you because it's for a secret project. But yeah, so this is the Athena. And then, last but not least, it was my birthday in September, which is now quite a long time ago. Yeah, given that it's mid-October. But I hadn't caught up with a friend for a hot minute, and then we finally got to catch up when I went on a work trip towards the end of September. And she had bought me a little bottle of yarn and some tea. And for anyone who knows me, I drink tea like it's going out of fashion. But it's to make socks. And they're like socks that pattern yourself. I've never tried them before, but it's the Regia sock. It's the Regia sock line. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, in the color 03657. And it's just like it's like blues and reds and oranges, and I don't know if you can see is it gonna focus? Nope. Okay. But it's got sort of like, it's like striped with more pattern in it. So yeah, I might have to like Google, I don't know how like you make the socks match, but they say to use 2 to 3 millimeter needles, and they say that up to a size 46, which is good because I'm a size 40, that this will make 2 pairs of socks. So that's really cute, and I feel very supported in my ability to knit and create yarn problems for myself. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that was a very nice gift, and I'm very excited about. So yeah, those are my 2 acquisitions. I don't have anything else to show. So I've made an order, but it was like yesterday. So when that arrives, that will appear in that video. But yeah, that's all my yarn and knitting updates for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm clearly not very good at recording like consistently, so it seems to be about once a month when I feel like I have had enough knitting done to like show, even though, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I've done a lot, and sometimes I feel like I've done none, but it's partly because I work on so many projects at once, which is a bit insane, but just the urge to cast on is strong sometimes. But yeah, so I suppose I will see you in approximately a month, so that will be a November roundup. But yeah, been really enjoying working on this. It's just like some relaxing time. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, it'd be awesome if you'd give the video a like, but no stress. And I hope to see you in about a month. And until then, I hope you're having a great day, having a relaxing day, and drinking lots of tea, if that's your preference. Bye.